Hello my friends, Audrey here. I hope you are all well. We all know that we have so many Hoya tips online, and if we follow this or follow that tips, it will benefit the growth of our Hoya. But sometimes life just got crazy, or to be honest, you just got lazy that day and decided to escape all those little tips. That happened to me a lot last year. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the things I did not follow from last year. First is fertilizing. I actually did not fertilize my Hoya at all. Not like I did not fertilize them. Instead of using a regular fertilizer, I actually ran out of fertilizer earlier last year, so I decided to use a worm casting on all my indoor plants to see how they grow. They did grow a little bit, but they didn't flourish as they normally would for the past several years when I was on top of my fertilizing game. They grew a little bit. Some Hoya actually did not grow at all. I do think that escaping fertilizing definitely stunted the growth of my Hoya in their growing season. They actually just grow a tiny little bit, and some just stopped growing at all. So this year, I told myself I'm gonna be on top of my fertilizing game. I'm actually gonna buy some fertilizer for my indoor plants and fertilize them at least twice a month, or if not every time I water them. I also put slow release fertilizing on all my indoor plants, including all my Hoyas, to help to fertilize them if I decide to be lazy that day and just use the water instead of fertilizing all my plants. So yes, I do think that fertilizing your indoor plant is definitely a really beneficial thing if you want your plant to grow really fast during their growing season. Second thing I didn't do is adding humidifier to my plants during the winter time. When the winter came, we used the heat, and the heat kind of sucked out all the humidity in the air, and that's why we had to use the humidifiers in our bathroom, which I did for me, my husband, and my kids, but not my plants. I kind of just escaped this step totally. For the past winter, I did not have humidifiers on any of my plants last year. I do have a humidifier sit under my growing shelves. I just never used it. And my other humidifier that is a kind of little stick. You put a cup of water in there, put a stick in there. It's kind of it made some air, some humidity into the air. My stick was broken, so instead of buying a new one, I just decided not to using those at all. I do see a little bit different on my Hoya in the past winter. I do think that it's kind of stunted their growth, especially for the Hoya that actually grow during the winter time. I did not see any of them growing for the past winter, or not growing as good as they normally would for the last winter, especially my Hoya Husiana. This is the one that just keeps growing, never stop, but it did not growing much at all for the past winter. Do I think humidifier is important for the plants growth? Definitely, especially in those plants like orchids or Hoya, they really require a high humidity. Without humidifier during the winter time, when we have the heat going on and the air is just extremely dry, it definitely hurt them a little bit. But do I think it will kill all the Hoya without humidifier in the winter time? Definitely not. I do think that humidifier is something that's good to have. If you have indoor plant like Hoya or orchids and they require high humidity, then yes, add a humidifier to your regular plant routine is a really good thing. But do I think humidifier is essential for the indoor plant? No, I don't really think so. It will be beneficial, but without humidifier, your plant's not going to die, and they're still going to grow during the growing season. Just they're not going really good during the winter time when it is a dry season for them. The third thing I didn't do for my Hoya routine is I did not actually check the soil when I water them. I kind of got lazy, so instead of checking the soil, I just decided to water all my plants every 1.5 weeks for the summertime, and sometimes dragging to 2 weeks during the winter time. I did not check the pots. I did not even put my finger in them at all like I normally should. What I do is instead of putting my finger in the pot or checking on the pot, making sure they really need water, I just pick up the pot and feel the weight on the pot, and if it's really dry, if it's light, I will water them. If it feels not too heavy or not too dry, I will still water them. Like I said, sometimes I get lazy, but if I really feel the weight on the pot, then I'll definitely not water them. Probably because of that, some of my Hoya actually suffered or have a root rot. The plants actually died. I did clip some cutting and try to revive the plants from those cuttings, and I did have some successful story with the cutting. But I do think without checking the water on my plants before watering them, definitely not a good idea. From my past year experience, I would definitely advise you guys to check the plants, making sure they really need water. Check the soil, put the finger in the soil, or really wait on the pot. I think for the health of your plants, not killing your plants, check the water before water them is definitely a really essential steps for having a healthy and flourish indoor plants in your house. The last thing I didn't do in my Hoya care routine is I did not spray them as I should be. I did mention on one of the videos before that I have my own alcohol, rubbing alcohol down detergent spray, leaf spray that I use on my plants to clean out the dust and also help with the bug infestation, especially mealybugs. Well, I didn't do that at all last year. I show you guys how to do the sprays and when to spray them, but I actually did not do that for myself. The only spray I did for my Hoya for the last year, for the whole year, is 1 time of the sulfur spray, and that was towards the end of last year, I believe, when I found out the problem with Hoya and the sulfur treatments, stuff like that. That was the only thing I used on my Hoyas. I did not spray anything on them, not let alone like alcohol to kill the mealybugs. I did use the paintbrush to brush out mealybugs where I found them, but it's such a slow process, especially when I have such a big mealybug infestation on all my plants. Using a paintbrush is not gonna help me when I cannot see them, when they're hiding behind the leaves or behind the tiny little new growths on them. I really cannot see them until they grow into be big and they took over the plant. By that time, it's kind of too late. So this year, I already told myself I'm gonna be on top of my spraying game. I already sprayed all my plants with rubbing alcohol and down detergent solution that I made for myself twice already in all my plants, and I'm going to keep going for at least 4 times. So hopefully by spraying them 4 times, I can actually diminish the mealybugs on my plants or help to decrease the infestation on my plants, and I'm going to do that at least twice a year. I already told myself to set a schedule that I'm going to do the sulfur treatment maybe in the summertime and in the wintertime, and then I'm going to do the alcohol down treatment in the spring and in the fall, so that I can keep up on top of my spraying game to making sure there's nothing infested on my plant. So yes, that's the last thing that I wish I did, so I won't have this big mealybug infestation on all my plants, killing the new growth and killing the flowers. So yes, this is the one thing I'm definitely gonna tell myself to do it and set a schedule and actually do it this year. So those are the things that I did not do last year, and I did see a big difference on my Hoya growth compared last year to the years before. This year, I'm definitely going to be on top of those things and try to making sure that I follow through all the tips that I know that will benefit my Hoya. Try not to be as lazy as I was last year. I do want my plants to grow and to flourish, to become a beautiful big plant. So those things could be essential for the growth of my Hoya. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a successful Hoya growth, not as lazy as I was last year. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Happy growing!